having a huge vocal range is something that can be super impressive to other people. Like Mariah Carey, for example, she has about a 5-octave range, is what people guess out there. And, you know, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Mariah Carey has this huge range and she's such a great singer. So who doesn't want to have a huge range, right? Well, I'm here to help you expand your vocal range. Let's jump right in. Most beginners usually start out with about an octave and a half to a 2-octave range. Okay, so comparing that to a 5-octave Mariah Carey kind of range is, you know, not even half. It's maybe a third, right? So how can you expand your vocal range? Well, the good news is you can, okay? You're not just stuck with the range that you've been given at birth. Or whatever you want to call it, right? You can definitely expand your vocal range, and I'm here to help you. So there's actually 4 things that I want to talk to you about real quick before we dig into the exercise that we're going to do together to help you expand your vocal range. There's 4 important things that you have to remember. The most important thing is patience. It takes time to expand your vocal range, okay? It's not where you like snip your fingers and then boom, all of a sudden you have a big vocal range. Unfortunately, not how that works. Well, I know. Wah, 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 right? So you have to be patient. That is very, very important. But if you keep working, you're going to get there. So patience is very important. Then next, you have to push yourself. If you're not pushing yourself, like to sing beyond your comfort zone, right? Like higher and lower, then you're not going to get better. If you only do something that's in your comfort zone, you can't get better. So that's really important that you push yourself, but you also don't want to over push, right? Like you can definitely push your voice too much and then actually hurt your voice. So my rule of thumb is usually like if you can sing, let's say you can sing a C, that's your highest note. You want to try and push for that C sharp, okay? Maximum, maybe even the D, okay? But you don't want to go higher than that because then you're pushing your voice too hard and then you're just kind of screaming instead of singing. Usually, that's what kind of happens, okay? But you want to go to the last note you can do and then, or you can sing and then another round on top of that, or maximum 2 more rounds, right? So don't go higher than that, but you do want to push yourself to get better, okay? So you got to step out of your comfort zone. That's point number 2. Then there's 2 things that have to work together for you to expand your range. The most important one is muscle isolation. If you are tight and tense in your throat, then it's the muscles around your voice that are working hard to get you to sing those high and low notes as well, and not the actual vocal muscles that you're using to make sound, okay, and to sing high and low, to change the pitch. They're obviously working too, but all the muscles around it are the ones that are really working and restricting your vocal range. So you have to learn to isolate those muscles, like your vocal cord muscles. Like there's a bunch of different ones. I'm not going to bore you with names, okay? But the muscles that actually have to work, you have to isolate them and relax the neck, the jaw, and the tongue muscles. Those are the most important muscles that you have to relax when you are singing and like trying to expand your range. Because otherwise, you will always have a limit to your range, and it's just always going to be so hard to go above or below it. Okay, so you have to muscle isolate. I have a bunch of videos on this, and I'm just going to link those videos on muscle isolation and my very favorite singing hack that's going to help you isolate or like relax mostly the tongue muscle, okay, and the muscle underneath your tongue down here. I'm going to link that video and put it in the description box below so you can check that out as well if you're a little bit confused about what muscle isolation is and how to do it yourself, okay? So there's already a bunch of videos on that, so check those out. And then the last thing is breath support. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that breath support is very important. Okay, so breath support basically means you gotta engage your core right here. Again, I made a whole bunch of videos on breath support and breathing in general, which is super duper duper important in singing. So I'm gonna put the links again in the description box below for you to check those videos out as well. And I put together a free breathing boot camp that you can download right away. And and just really get your breath support to work and your breathing to be optimal for singing. Okay, so check that out as well if you are at all interested in breathing, which you should be, because it's important. Okay. All right, so those are the important things, right? You've got to use breath support, and muscle isolation has to be happening, right? No tension. That's basically what that means. Muscle isolation means no tension. If there's tension, you can't expand your range. Okay? Awesome. Now, let's look at the exercise we're going to do. So what usually happens with when people are practicing expanding their range is usually there's just a whole bunch of force behind it instead of letting the voice find its way to get to those higher notes. So the one way to limit that force is by starting on an NG sound, or or n. But we're gonna do NG, so like So your tongue is up in the back, closing off the back of your mouth. This just helps you not blast air through your vocal cords and blow out your voice, especially when you get to those higher notes. So the exercise goes like this. We're then opening up to ah. So really keep it closed first so we're not pushing too hard. And remember, you don't have to be loud, okay? Expanding your range doesn't mean you have to be loud. No, keep it quiet. All right, let's try it down here in a really nice, for most people at least, an easy kind of place in their voice. Let's give this a try. And if you're in your head voice up here, that is totally fine. Just keep going. If you're cracking, that's okay too. Good. Use your breath support. Remember, engage your core right here. Drop your jaw on those higher notes when you're opening up to ah. Alright, good. Just a couple more. We're so high here. Alright, last one. You got this. This is really high. We're super duper duper high here. But can you hear how the keeps you from just screaming? Because you can't. There's no air coming out of your mouth, right? It's just, it's completely nasal. Okay, so you want to stay quiet and not just. Another thing you can do instead of ah is go on E. Or ooh, or any vowel, really, anything you want. It really doesn't matter. Just give this a try on your own too, and let's now turn back around. If you couldn't go that high, that is totally fine, okay? We're all in a different, place in our vocal journey, and that is totally fine. Just try to come back in whenever you can, okay? Now that we're going back down. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back down. Still use your core, even when you go down. Very important. And drop your jaw and relax your tongue. Put your thumb under your chin to relax the tongue. Like this. sing again because you're switching from head voice to chest voice. Maybe not. Maybe you already have a mixed voice. That's awesome. So here we're back where we started on middle C. Okay, so that's expanding your range upwards. But, you know, especially us girls, we always think about going higher and higher and higher and higher, but we kind of forget about the lower notes. So let's keep going down. Keep exploring the low notes too, because you can't forget about your low notes. I feel like more and more, because of singers like Billie Eilish, we tend to go low again and not just high, not just Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande kind of high. Even Ariana Grande is coming back down too, especially in her verses, in the first parts of her song. So we cannot forget about our lower register. So let's keep going down. No need to be loud. All right, we're getting really low here already. Try, keep going. Can we go lower? Last one. Right, like down here, even for me, I don't have the lowest voice on the planet, okay? But down here, the C below middle C is super duper duper low. And it doesn't sound pretty anymore, at least for me. There's definitely people, they can rock that note and it sounds awesome. But for me, I'm hitting the note, but I wouldn't sing it on stage, okay? But that's what I mean by going beyond your comfort zone, right? That C is not in my comfort zone, right? I don't sing lower than D on stage, okay, for now. But if I keep practicing, maybe, who knows, one day I will be able to sing that C comfortably and with a lot of confidence on stage. But I'm trying to push myself to go lower so I can expand, not only up, but also down, right? And if you start like having some vocal fry, and it just kind of, the note kind of disappears in that vocal fry, that is totally fine. Don't worry about it, right? But that's how you get lower and lower and lower and lower and lower as well. And you know, you can do different exercises to go low than you do to go high, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter as long as you move your voice and you push yourself. And I really like this kind of exercise because it keeps you from pushing too hard, because you're starting on that and you just cannot blast air through your vocal cords, because if you blast air through your vocal cords, that's the thing that's gonna hurt your voice. Okay, fair enough. Awesome. So keep practicing this exercise, and you know, any other exercise really too. With expanding your vocal range, it doesn't matter as much like what exercise you're doing as long as you keep pushing yourself. Okay, but remember, drop your jaw, give your sound space, support from down here, use my hack to muscle isolate, to not have your tongue pushed down, okay? And use breath support. And I don't remember what all I said, but you know what I mean, right? We talked about this 500 times already during this video. All right, that's it for me for today. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and if it was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments down below if it's helping, you know, if your range is slowly starting to expand. I hope it is. Just keep practicing and be patient, okay? And you will be just fine. All right, that's it for me for today. I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.